And today, May Day protests are drawing thousands into the streets across the entire world. From the United States to Europe to Asia, workers are calling for higher wages, better conditions, relief from rising costs. But out in Venezuela, protests have actually been going on for weeks now as workers say that they are struggling to just get by.
Salario, pensiones, democracia y libertad. Salario.
And they are chanting salaries, pensions, democracy, freedom. People are demanding higher pay. And when you look at the numbers, they are pretty staggering here. Annual inflation has skyrocketed to more than 600% as of February 2026. It was bad before. And just yesterday, acting President Delcy Rodriguez announced a wage increase from about $190 to roughly $240 a month.
I must emphasize that this is the most significant increase in recent years. We have not had an increase that allowed us to reach this level. I also want to report that our elderly, our grandfathers, our grandmothers, those who have been hit the hardest, will receive a pension equivalent to $70, which represents a 40% increase.
She said the increase still falls short of what's needed, saying that there's a long way to go. And on the streets, outrage remains. Let's bring in Ana Vanessa Herrero, who is on the ground in Caracas tonight. Ana, great to see you. The craziest part of all this is that the base monthly salary is still only like pennies. I mean, it is $27 a month or something like that. They're saying this bump, if I understand it correctly, which is still pretty tiny, will come in the form of bonuses, but then where that comes from is a huge question mark. To give our viewers a little bit of a perspective here, let's quickly play this this interview you did with an older person a little bit earlier.
Estamos pidiendo salario justo.
We're asking for a fair wage, pensions. What am I supposed to do with 130 bolivars? I'll say it again, not even a cup of coffee, because a cup costs 180 to 200 bolivars. A small coffee, one coffee, and they charge you that many bolivars. You have to wait a month just to have a cup of coffee. That's life. Just like me, what I've told you, there are many of us suffering like this. It's not just a few of us, it's all of us who are suffering through this.
That 72-year-old putting things into perspective. How are people getting by?
Well, actually, they're not. And actually, the base salary, it's less than $1 a month. It's roughly 27 cents, 28 cents a month. So for pensions, it's a little bit more, $1 and something, $1.50 maybe. It depends on inflation, and it depends on the depreciation of the bolivar. But people, what they were telling us today when we were out there with them on the streets in this protest, this new protest, was that this is not enough. Of course, this new increase in salary doesn't even come close to what people really need to survive whatever they're struggling in this crazy Venezuelan economy.
And here in the United States, you know, with all the things happening in the world, it seems kind of like Venezuela had somewhat been forgotten ever since Maduro was removed, with the assumption that, oh, well, things must be better down there, or more stable at least. The reality you're showing here is very different.
It's absolutely different on the ground. So the thing here in Venezuela is that the country is trying to establish itself in the middle of these two realities. The global political sphere shows us that there is, in fact, a huge change, which translates into new agreements, laws, bilateral diplomatic relations renewed. And for example, the new flights, direct straight flights from Miami to Caracas, and that were, broadly celebrated this week. But on the ground, things feel absolutely different. People like the man that we're seeing there, Luis, he told me that he doesn't really feel this change that both the Trump administration and the Delcy Rodriguez administration are talking about. So really, it's kind of a limbo for regular citizens, but not for the diplomatic and the high political sphere.
And Delcy Rodriguez is basically the anointed one, according to Trump. And yet, politics in Venezuela is very complicated, very complex. It's set up by, the support of some of those colectivos that we've seen. But politically, does it seem like there's another option out there that may be rising, or is it going to be Delcy for quite some time?
Well, this is really interesting that you bring this up, because I was talking to a lot of people today, and I've been talking to a lot of people since January 3rd regarding this. What are their expectations? And people today specifically told me that they were growing increasingly worried that the new reality is going to be Delcy Rodriguez staying there, making Donald Trump happy, while the people on the ground still remain in despair. So about another possibility, people wish that there was another possibility. There's no other possibility that they are allowing us to see from within the government. But people are still waiting for Maria Corina Machado and the opposition to step in. But that hasn't happened yet, and we have no clear information when that's going to happen.
Yeah, something that we are all watching to see. Ana, thank you so much.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.